Now, before we even jump into the program and see each and every single specific reward and the attributes, do you think the program is going to be a W or an L based on these three bosses? I'll tell you, I personally did not expect to have these three bosses. In my opinion, it's more of a letdown than something to get excited about. And I'll explain as we continue diving into this 5th inning program. So the first thing I'm going to teach you all is how to make the most stubs possible when a program drops. I'm going to go drop down to collections, and you will see that the only collections available are the 5th inning collections. So therefore, if you went ahead and invested in these players, you're going to be able to make a solid flip because they were selling for around 70K. And if you look now, they're selling for around 80K to 90K. I knew that the most expensive one was going to be Christy Mathewson because he was the one that was least picked. I was actually going to make a video last night to upload at 12 p.m. Eastern, letting you all know, hey, if you want to make the most amount of stubs, go ahead and buy some Christy Mathewsons because he is the one that is least picked out of the three bosses. The same thing is going to happen in this program. Joe Morgan is going to be the one least picked. Therefore, there are not going to be a ton of him to sell once the program ends, and he's going to be the one to skyrocket the most in terms of prices. But you have these missions that give you some experience. You have the conquest map, and you have the collections plus the daily missions. Now, how do you make the most amount of stubs whenever a program drops? I remember this nameplate. I had gotten it previously. You go and look specifically for the exclusive packs to this 5th inning program. The first one is this choice pack. You're going to have Hal Newhouser, who has pretty good stamina, good K per 9, good hit per 9, but he's a 3-pitch pitcher. He only has a fastball, a sweeping curve, and a changeup, and he doesn't even have outlier on that fastball. So that's an L automatically. Then you go to Jimmy Rollins. Jimmy Rollins is a solid contact hitter with a little bit of power. I can't wait till we get a higher overall card of Jimmy Rollins because usually his 99 card is a pretty good card. Solid fielding, I must say, for a shortstop, but he doesn't play any secondaries. Good speed to have on the bench if you need someone to go ahead and pinch run for anyone. And then Greg Holland, he has a 4-seam, he has a slider, and he has a splitter. He has great hit per 9s, he has great Ks per 9, but he has bad walks per 9, which means that his control is a little bit iffy. But at the same time, you can go ahead and use pinpoint and be solid for the most part. Now, the one you want to invest in the most is going to be Hal Newhouser because Hal Newhouser is going to be the one least picked. Therefore, when this inning expires and later on, as you can see with the Mike Schmidt that is selling for like 300K, these cards, since not a lot of people went ahead and picked them up, they will go ahead and sell for a ton of stubs, especially as we get more and more collections. Like this third, there is a new collection coming out. Jimmy Rollins is going to be the second least picked, so you can go ahead and invest in him a ton. And then the best one to flip in general is going to be Greg Holland because he's going to be the one that a lot of people are going to be picking and looking to sell. So you can probably flip all three, but the best one to flip in general will be Greg Holland. The best one to invest in, or the best two to invest in long term, is Hal Newhouser and Jimmy Rollins. And if you're looking for the best choice, it's obviously Greg Holland. As we continue on, you see the 5th inning classic packs. Now you get Daniel Vogelbach, you get yourself Yoan Moncada, and you get Aaron Hicks. To me, the least picked one out of all three is probably going to be Yoan Moncada. So he's going to be pretty good to invest. But in general, all three of these cards would probably be pretty good to invest in. Usually, the finest collection doesn't come out until later on in the game cycle. So this Daniel Vogelbach is not going to have a lot of value in terms of being able to sell at any point in time until the season is over. So if you want, you can invest in this Daniel Vogelbach, and then later on when the finest program comes out and they do a collection for him similar to what they did with Shohei Ohtani, you're going to be able to make a lot of stubs if you went ahead and had purchased a ton of him to go ahead and sell in the future. But it's a long-term investment. Since we already have a Future Stars program, Yoan Moncada probably isn't going to jump too much in price. And then when the postseason program comes out, that's when Aaron Hicks will jump up in price. But if I had to go ahead and select which is the best player out of these two, all of them are pretty much platoon hitters. 84-100 versus right, and then he's better against righties too, 94-88. And then Daniel has 82-116. Daniel is going to be the best option to go ahead and select, and he's probably also going to be the best option to go ahead and invest in long term, and he's going to be the best option to flip because everybody will be going ahead and picking him up. When we're talking about set 19 headliners, This Bob Gibson you see right here, he's going to drop in price since a lot of people are going to be able to obtain him since you're getting 2 set 19 headliners. So look to either invest in him and then resell him later on in the game. Probably August 3rd would be a good time to sell, or look to just invest and hold on for the future since his price is going to go ahead and take a small hit. And then set 22 headliners, this Ken Griffey Jr. card, the same thing that we talked about when discussing Bob Gibson is going to apply to this card as well. Now looking at the 5th inning bosses, we start off with Vladimir Guerrero. Vladimir Guerrero is one of the best hitter cards the game has to offer, and that's the case every single year. He has a really good swing in the game as well. The only downside to him is he has silver fielding at 70 fielding. He has amazing arm strength, but the good thing about him is, and I'll move my camera angle so everybody can go ahead and see, is that he has pretty good speed. So him having pretty good speed makes up for the lack of fielding. And then 77 reaction, once you parallel him up to parallel 3, is going to be gold. So that is going to be helpful as well. As we continue on with the bosses, you go to Nolan Ryan. Nolan Ryan has 117 stamina, so he can probably pitch 130 innings and still be in yellow, or 130 pitches, excuse me, and still be in yellow. Hit per 9, K per 9, 125 is gorgeous. The walks per 9 out of 71 means he's going to have above average control from what we're used to seeing from Nolan Ryan. The only thing I disliked, he has a 4-seam, 12-6 circle change and sinker. Only thing I disliked is they only gave outlier to his fastball. Usually he gets outlier to both his fastball as well as his sinker. I wish if they had to give outlier to any pitch, although they would have given it to his sinker instead of his fastball, because it would have made him a lot more deadly. I still think this card is going to be pretty good, but not as good as I expected. And then last but not least, we have Joe Morgan, who has great hitting numbers against right-handers, great hitting numbers against left-handers. He just lacks a little bit of pop. And then the fielding is going to be diamond, and then the speed is going to be diamond speed at a 93, which I'm blocking. But truth be told, this is going to be the one that is least picked. Why? Because second base is already a position stacked out full of players. You have Jackie Robinson, you have Marcus Semien, and then you have a ton of shortstops that can play second base as a secondary position. So which is the pick that you go with here? If you still need pitching, it's going to be Nolan Ryan. If you still need outfielders, it's going to be Vladimir Guerrero. Either or, you can't go wrong. Joe Morgan is going to be the one least picked, so he's the one you invest in, and he's the one that you're going to be able to sell in the future for big stubs whenever the program expires. He's going to go ahead and jump in terms of price by 20K, similar to what we've seen with Christy Mathewson. Then when we're talking about this choice pack, pay attention to the prices of these 4 diamonds. They should take a small hit. Maybe now would be the best time to invest in them as they take a small hit, and then you go ahead and resell them in the future for a lot more stubs. This Headliners 2 packs, just pay attention to Headliners cards in general because they should be taking small hits. Kitchen Sink 2, pay attention to these 4 cards as well, as they are going to be taking hits. And then when it comes to flipping cards and making stubs off of flipping, the base round cards are the other ones that you guys want to be paying attention to, because since a lot more people will be getting the base round rather than the rare round, these cards will be selling a lot more often inside the marketplace. So that's going to be the area you would be flipping cards at. And then last but not least, we have the 90 plus Live Series pack, how we did previously. Now the Live Series cards, they can't take a bigger hit than what they have already taken. The only downside to this 90 plus Live Series pack is that when you go to live and you put the minimum overall all the way at a 90, we have a ton of new players added to this. We have ourselves Max Muncy, recently just got added, became a 92 overall with the fielding upgrade. And then we have another player like Vladimir Guerrero Jr., who's now a 94. He also jumped in price, which is beautiful, but I expect them to drop back down in price and stabilize. Mike Trout actually jumped up in price as well. But as you continue, or as this week continues, you'll see their prices slowly start to decrease once again as people start getting the 650 experience. So once the prices start to decrease, maybe then and there you want to go ahead and reinvest, and then wait until the next inning program comes out to go ahead and sell, or a roster update, because that's usually when the prices jump the most. Now, if you did end up enjoying today's content, please make sure to go ahead and hit that like button or that subscribe button. Don't forget to follow me on all my socials, and go ahead and check out my Twitch channel. We stream each and every single day at 1 a.m. Eastern. Everything is inside the description box. Have a blessed day and night. Stay positive, stay safe, stay blessed, and I will catch you all in the next one. Peace out.